Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Sandbox Saturday stream. I am Alex Florez, aka Kamisazi, joined here by the legend himself, Lucas is right. How you doing, Lucas?
I'm doing really good today, Alex. How are you?
I'm hanging in there. There's a lot going on. Oh, sorry, Mike. I clicked on something on my computer and it popped up with the message, "Are you sure you want to delete all of these?" And I'm like, I didn't want to delete anything. I don't know what you're talking about.
I am not sure. Thank you for asking.
All right. So with that out of the way, some quick news. We're just gonna build today. We haven't had a building session on stream in forever. Like we've shown how to do a couple things here and there when there's new features, but we haven't just like hung out and made stuff. And I feel like making something. I feel like revisiting something that we worked on a long time ago.
Okay.
And continuing it.
Like that.
And seeing if we can upgrade it to 0.8 and see what changes we need to make to have that happen.
All right.
So, in the news, PandaPops did a stream on Wednesday about all the new features in VoxEdit. You should go check that out.
Helpful.
If you could drop that link in the chat real quick. That would be super duper. I suggest everybody who's building a VoxEdit take a look at that. Because there's some stuff some of the features are kind of advanced. And if you were here on Wednesday, I tried just figuring them out on the live because I hadn't touched them yet, and I was struggling a little bit. So I would watch Panda's video to see what the proper instructions are for how to use those features. Because we're adding in more advanced tools for more advanced builders. Also, we had talked about the wallet disconnect on Wednesday, which was an update that had gone live, I think, hours before the stream. So, new feature on the dashboard. If you go to your profile settings, you can now disconnect your wallet. The wallet that you have, any wallet that you've connected to an account can never be connected to another account. This helps us prevent fraud. So it's like the sandbox remembers that wallet was connected to an account before. So if you try connecting to a new account, it won't let you. But you can reconnect that wallet to the same account that it was on before at any time. So if you have multiple ledgers and you want to do stuff with that, you have the ability to set those things up. There was a question though, during our last stream, which was a really good question, which was, what happens to your sand and land that you've staked? And both sand and land are connected to your wallet. So if you disconnect your wallet from the account, the staking is still there. It's still happening. If you need to unstake, then you'll need to reconnect your wallet so you can interact with the unstaking tools. So that doesn't really change anything. It just means that your wallet is no longer plugged into your account as the control source of that account.
Because when you stake something, you're basically depositing it into a secondary account. And it's like a steward account almost. And so you're going to have to go back to that secondary account through the tools and get it out and get it back into your wallet. So the primary ownership is once again yours.
Yep. And Lucas did drop the link that explains everything you need to know about changing your connected wallets from our Git book. Lots and lots and lots of other information on that Git book. I'm actually going to open it up on the screen here real quick and take a quick look at just like what all is here. So we got a whole bunch of info about how to connect your wallets. We've got so much information in the Git book that goes from like the introduction of like what is the sandbox to what is sand, what is land, what is staking, what are assets, how to make games, some tools there, the marketplace, how our events run, the different programs that we run in the sandbox, like ambassadors and Game Maker Fund, stuff like that. So much stuff. Polygon Bridge, There's like tutorials and academies. There's all sorts of stuff. So if you are just getting into the sandbox, this is like a wealth of knowledge. If you've been in the sandbox, I'm sure there's stuff in here that I don't know, because this is compiled by a whole bunch of people, and there's probably things in here that I either never knew or I forgot about. There's things in here that I helped write. So there's just like there's a lot of info in here, and we're trying to expand this tool. I'm not sure if it's always going to stay on Gitbook like this. I know that Becky, our head of education person, is working with some other teammates to make a like totally revamped, expanded place with lots and lots of tutorials. So keep an eye out for that coming soon. All right. So let's build something. We're gonna work on this. We haven't opened this up since 0.8 came out. Gee Whiz asks, is anyone holding land in unstoppable domains? Have an account, wallet, site, and no idea how to move land there, etc. Any chance it fell from the sandbox? I don't know what unstoppable domains is.
It's a web domain type company, like .eth, basically.
Oh, okay.
But I'm not sure. I'm not sure what he's asking. I'm holding land.
You want to put?
I mean, I get what he's asking. I just don't understand how to answer it.
No idea how to move land there.
Are you talking about sandbox land, or is he talking about do unstoppable domains actually have their own land? I don't think they do. I don't think they're creating a metaverse. I'm pretty sure it's just basically a URL company or a project wallet.
So if it's like domain hosting, if it's like ENS,
I believe that's what it is.
Then an ENS is not. So I don't know how Unstoppable Domains does it, but ENS is like how you could get like mine is kamisazi.eth. It's just my username .eth. Lots of people have different ENS domains, and it's literally like a shortcut to your wallet address.
Yeah.
So you when you set up an ENS, let me see.
Yeah, Alex and I are unfamiliar with whether or not Unstoppable actually has a wallet feature to it as well. So, GWiz, if you want to look into this a little further and actually let us know what you find out, that'd be great, because that would help educate us a little bit as well.
Yeah, so I'm not familiar with Unstoppable Domains, but for people who are curious about ENS, like I said, ENS is basically a shortcut to your wallet, or really to any wallet that you decide for it to point to. So it's kind of like the ENS service kind of lets you set up some things. So in this case, I have my ENS connected to my old fox.shop website. It's connected to my Twitter. It's connected to my main wallet that I use for the Sandbox and OpenSea. It's got it points to this profile picture by an artist that I collect a lot from.
Love that profile picture, by the way.
Thank you. Let's see.
Is it a Yeti? I've been meaning to ask you that for years.
It's a beast.
Just as cool.
Yeah. Let's see. It's by an artist called Caroline. I don't know if I say it correctly or not. I think Spanish is first language. I actually have a couple of these. You might notice all four of these are by the same artist. He's really super cool. And I always try to collect his stuff when I can. So he did these souls, which are like just hearts with like different styles. He did this one in collaboration with Cliff Ballin. So I have a few of those. Then he started doing legends. So he's got all. I'm just like just kind of showing off because I really like this artist now. Um, so I always try to collect his stuff when it comes out. And he's really been upping his detail and style. It's been really getting really good. I mean, he was always good, but I can tell there's like progression as an artist. He's like growing and experimenting and doing cool stuff. Anyway, so with ENS, you can actually define a specific avatar that's related to that ENS. So the ENS system lets you connect up a bunch of different stuff. So like your Twitter, your website, things like that. It's like DNS hosting where you can make records. So for people who are familiar with web hosting, or I guess who aren't familiar with web hosting, when you make a website, it's your actual website is stored on an IP address, or it's on a server, and there's an IP address that points to the location of those files on the server, and the website, the URL that you type is really just pointing to that IP address. So you can manually type in that IP address, but nobody really likes memorizing big long numbers that are,
Nope.
Imagine having to memorize a phone number for every website that you know. So it'd be kind of like that.
Remember a phone number? What is this?
It's so much easier to say,
Thank you.
it's so much easier to say www.sandbox.game than to say it's whatever the number is. I have no idea. And sometimes there's multiple numbers. If you're using something like Cloudflare, it's distributed to multiple servers around the world. There might be multiple numbers, and it's grabbing the IP address that is closest to your location, hopefully, so you get the fastest service. So DNS, which is domain name service, helps point to websites at IP addresses, whereas ENS is the ETH name system. I actually don't know what ENS stands for. Oh, Ethereum Name Service. It says it right on OpenSea. Uses nice little names like that to point to Ethereum addresses. And so you can set up other information in that ENS. It's super cool and useful. And so you can use this most of the time. You can use this in place of your main wallet address. There's some tools that don't accept ENS. They like having just the straight number, 0x, whatever it is. But a lot of places will accept the ENS. So why are we talking about that again? Oh, because land. So I, like we said with
Unstoppable Domains is what he was asking. Is GWiz?
Yeah, Unstoppable Domains. If that's anything like ENS, which, like I said, I've never heard of it before, so I don't know. ENS is not an actual wallet. It's just a name label for your wallet. It's like a shortcut link. So that is how ENS works. I don't. Unstoppable Domains might be similar. I don't know. All right. So I don't know if any of this even works anymore. Let's. we had started. What's up? What was the question?
I was gonna say, so we started this in 0.7. Did you just, so you're on a computer with 0.8 right now, and you just updated it to 0.8?
I haven't saved it yet, so nothing's changed. I have opened it in 0.8.
Gotcha.
Now I have it's not a good idea to open your 0.7 and 0.8 unless you're committed to making that change, and there's not a lot of guarantees associated with that change yet. Now there's not a lot going on here. We mostly did some terraforming, and that's about it. We put in a little bit of logic. We made this little puzzle to try to get this thing down, we had to stack boxes so we could jump and grab this. So there's not a lot going on here. I'm not too worried about having to like restart any of the logic building on this thing. I just noticed that structure was like floating off the ground. That was weird. So Yeah, in my experience, if you open a 0.7 and 0.8 and don't save, you can still go back to 0.7. But once you save in 0.8, it won't even display in 0.7, I don't believe. 0.7 is supposed to have a filter on it, so anything from later versions don't even appear, so you don't try to open it and have a crash or something. All right, so we were trying to build something where you start here, maybe you have a fixed camera, or not fixed, but you can spin the camera like this, but not all the like normal third person platforming kind of stuff. And we made a little secret room. Well, let's just hit play and see what happens. Oh, I'm too close to the spawn location. I wonder. If I just delete the fireflies, if it'll be happy enough with that. It's probably still. Yeah. It doesn't like that spawn location.
I mean, to be honest, I don't really like that spawn location either.
We're just a little too close to the door.
The feng shui was off.
I forgot I'm a CyberCongs. I actually want to.
Oh, you're gigantic.
Yeah, I know.
Like too big to fit through the doorways, like ducking down.
I don't remember why he says boop goop. I think like Touche or Andy was in the chat.
Ah.
So we bring these over.
Sense.
And then, okay. So it seems like everything still works.
Yeah. I was expecting there to be a little bit of a glitch at the bridge there.
No, but I do want to change my size here. So we're gonna set up as a different avatar. We're gonna do let's do Wizzy the Black.
Yeah.
So we had made it so that way you spawn in and then you get to here and it says, I feel my fate has changed, because the fireflies change color to let you know that something has changed. And I lost my crate. Oh, that doesn't work. Is it sitting on top of a... Is there a collision on the... What?
It's way up there.
Oh, I can't even...
Spawn it again. Talk to him again. See what happens if you...
Oh, I was able to grab it.
Engage the conversation. Oh, okay.
I think we're going to restart this logic. But let's take a look at the fireflies and see how we set that up.
Yeah.
All right.
I think it's really interesting seeing you live and in person go from a 0.7 to a 0.8. So kind of, I don't know. I know my team's going to want to take a look at this video after you're done, just because we do have some items that we need to update from 0.7 to 0.8 still. So
sure. Well, I mean, there's not a lot going on here, so I don't know how useful it'll be, but I feel like
a little bit of the edge off.
Yeah. So I don't think I really need to use a void here. I mean, I can. The checkpoint seemed to work fine. Well, okay. We didn't try dying though. Let's see what happens if we fall into the lava.
How dare you?
Okay, yeah, that checkpoint worked. And oh. Okay, yeah, we definitely need to fix that. I don't know what's going on there.
Maybe the game is just trying to make it more fun. It's like, hey, what's up? Now you have a challenge. You lost it. That's your fault. Now you got to work to get it back.
Ooh.
Teach you a lesson.
Oh, and we can swim now. That changes this. Because we didn't used to be able to swim. And, oh yeah, that room... What did we use? I think that room was for, like, respawning the crates or something. Okay, so we did the fireflies there, now we die, and... Firefly's there. Okay, so we don't really need to change our Firefly logic.
Yeah.
I feel like it probably could be a little bit more efficient, but it doesn't really seem to be a problem. So what we have going on here is we're detecting entity. You know what? We could probably make it more efficient by we can send messages to objects now, like send it to back to itself. Which we didn't used to be able to do. So it's 0.8. That was a change. Currently, it only works with the send to all. It doesn't work with proximity. I see there's a question about, is it true that VoxEdit corrupts the files now? I haven't seen anything about corrupting of the files. That may be true, but it hasn't entered my sphere. There was an issue with the palette swap, and it had to do something with older VoxEdits. If you made a file in an old version of VoxEdit, the new version of VoxEdit would have some issues trying to figure out what the default palette was. That may have actually been the confusion that I was having on Wednesday's stream because I was opening up an older file. So the I'm trying to remember what the solution was. I think it was something along the lines of open this up. Okay, I didn't need to do that. There was a suggestion. Oh, part of the problem is if you have old palettes that you've exported, and it's better to re-export them. So open up your file, and then save your palette out to a PNG, and then import it back in. Because there's something with like the way that the PNG file that is used for the palette is formatted that's new. That had to do something with it, but I'm not sure of all the details. I would definitely ask those questions in the VoxEdit Discord, the Sandbox Discord in the VoxEdit area. There's like a section just for that, and somebody might be able to answer it more thoroughly there. All right.
Dan Coy asks an interesting question.
Mm-hmm.
He said, "How can we detect/know if the player is crouching or crawling? Is there a mechanic for that yet?"
There's not a way to check for that. At least not one that I know of. That's something that would be good to be able to check in the future. But what you can do is you can force the player to be in that position. So if I take an asset like this and tilt it, it doesn't force me down here. But you could have something where the player knows that they need to crouch.
Big sign says you crouch here.
Yeah.
Arrow pointing down.
Or just like a lot of games will have that in a tutorial, right? They'll be like press C to crouch.
The very beginning, yeah.
Yeah. There is a way to, if you like crush the player, that's the way that will actually force them to crouch.
Like an anvil on the head in 80s cartoons?
Something like that. I don't know if this is going to be large enough, or, if it's going to fit well. Let's see. Maybe if I do this. I'm going to rotate it, and we're going to try to make this fall on our head at the start of the game. I don't know if it'll let this work or not, but we'll give it a shot. And we need gravity on.
What's going to happen? Who's to say?
Oh.
Oh.
It flung out into the lava. I think it's because it's on the... I think it collided with the outer edge here.
Oh, wow. I just say that thing got yeeted. Pull it in a little bit. There you go. Yeah, maybe a little more. Maybe a little more. Oh, yeah, there you go.
See how it pushed me down in a crouch. I didn't press crouch. It
So if it was
forced me down.
invisible, it would you wouldn't have known what forced you down.
Yeah, you could. You now this is risky. Like you could end up in a bad situation. So like, yeah, I can make it invisible, and oh, it looks like it missed me. Oh, see, it's shoving me right now. So it didn't land squarely on my head, so it didn't shove me down. But I am feeling the effects of it as it kind of pushes me around. It could also like get flipped up and block the door. So I wouldn't really recommend making an invisible squisher as part of your mechanic, but
a
lot
could go wrong.
There's a lot that could go wrong, but you could figure out something that way. Yeah, but other than that, there's not really a way to tell that the player is crouching unless you put them in a situation where they have to be crouching. I guess the main reason would be you probably want to make a stealth mechanic, right? So I would say you could. Yeah, that wouldn't be any fun at all. I was thinking like you can make like a glass top or like an invisible, you use invisible platforms to like force them to crouch or crawl. To avoid traps, for example. Okay, actually, I've got one, and it'll work. Yay. Okay. I love this. I'm so excited by this right now. All you need is a minefield, an invisible minefield in the air. So what you can do, actually, it doesn't even have to be that big. Or it doesn't have to be a whole, it can be one object, because now we can have a speaker component that well, actually, you could have always done this. You can definitely do it now with the shaped speaker component. So if we do component speaker, and it's going to detect entity, not look at target, edit. So we have to edit, and you see how we had the sphere. So all you need is it won't work. And well, it might. It depends on what triggers. I'm not sure. We're gonna find out. I got really excited for a second because I was thinking based on the collision of the player's head, but that's not what we use to detect where the player is. I think we use the feet. So darn. And we can't attach objects to the character anymore. You could make something really stupid, and it again wouldn't be fun. If you had an invisible platform sitting on the player's head all the time, but I don't think they'd be able to stand up correctly. All right, we're gonna try it. We're gonna see. But I don't think it's gonna work now. I got ahead of myself. I was like, "Oh yeah, that'll work," and no, I actually don't think it will.
Trial and error, Alex. Trial and error. That's what we're here for. We live for this.
So we've just made an area where you have to be under a certain height. We're gonna lift it up. What if we make it? Couldn't we make a thinner detection area? I felt like we could make a smaller one. Or am I remembering something different? Because I said 0 and it's a meter thick.
Yeah.
I felt like we could do smaller sections And am I thinking of something different? Somebody in the
No.
chat should know what this is. It's not crowd event.
This is one of those moments where I really wish I could be more helpful.
It's all right. Hmm. Oh, no, it is with it's with the sphere speaker, so maybe you do have to make a minefield. You can do this.
Elaborate on what you mean by minefield.
You can do. No, you can't do it on that.
Put minus before the number?
No.
Decimals, boxes?
Yeah,
I'm just reading what people are saying in the chat.
Well, that's what I was trying to do, but it doesn't actually go that thin. I can't get it smaller than 1. Did that work in 0.8.2? And now it doesn't work in 0.8.3? 0.0001. I have it at 0. I have it smaller than that. I feel like I'm going crazy, but this is definitely different than what the last version, right?
Are you asking me?
I'm asking the chat, because there's a lot of other builders here. Negative 0. It doesn't accept negative numbers. What? No way.
Yeah. Hey, Alex, did it accept a negative number?
That's not how it worked in the last version. How? That's wild.
You learn something new every day.
It is weird. But the unfortunate thing though is that it snaps to, you know what, we don't even need it to be that thin. We just need it to it snaps to a terrain meter, but because we can use decimal spaces, we can change with more nuance what the height actually is. So if I say 1.5, it's going to be, you can see if we compare it to our merchant here. Oh no, I clicked off of it. So if we compare it to the merchant here, we can see that we're changing the height in more incremental values. So like 1.6, it's a little bit more. 1.7, it's a little bit more. So we do like 1.3. It'll cross your head, but maybe not if you're crouching. I'm not sure on that one.
Got a question for you, Alex.
Sure.
From Bravo's Lab over on YouTube, they asked a question regarding the Wizzyverse. Mm-hmm. Will a studio/builder who submits an entry to a game jam in the future need a Wizzy avatar in order to get feedback from the council?
Not for regular game jams. So, the council runs the judging on the game jams. There are other judges on staff and stuff, but who participate in the voting. But we run. What we do very specifically is that our team of judges, we always use a minimum of 3 judges, and they play every single game. That is valid. You know, occasionally there's games that don't meet the submission criteria, but they play
3 wolves on a template.
As right. They play every valid entry as much of the way through as they can. occasionally they might get stuck on some super hard parkour and they're not going to spend 10 hours trying to get past that, just that one. But they do try to beat every single game. And then give written feedback of like 2 to 5 sentences each. So
Okay.
when you submit for game jam entries, there's like a checkbox that asks if you want feedback. We've emailed almost all of the feedback for the parkour game jam. There were a couple entries that have not been sent yet, just because we have to go back and check some things. But the majority of it, I think it was like 30 or 40 entries. Everybody got their feedback already. So that is what we do to make sure that everybody gets not only fair judging, but also like gets constructive feedback on their stuff. There's no plan to give scores in the future. That's a hard line that's been set for the VoxEdit jams, where we don't want people feeling like upset that they were like 1 point away from being in the top 10 or whatever the
Ignorance is
case may
bliss.
be. Yeah, I mean, we're happy to announce the top 10 and first, second, and third, because those are all like tiers of prizes that are given out. But for the rest of it, even among the top 10, sorting out like, oh, who was in 10th place versus 4th place, we're like, that's let's just try to have like an uplifting, constructive time of feedback and not be like nitpicking at each other's numbers.
Yeah, at the end of the day, if you really want to advance in this space, the thing that is way more important than that quantifiable number is the feedback that's given, because that helps you grow and evolve and learn and become better at this.
Yeah, if you got um I'm trying to do the math of like how we actually score. It's 0 through 125 on each criteria, I think.
Oh
But
wow.
we do it on in increments of 25, I think. It's for practical sake, it's like 0 through 5, but um because there's extra math involved, like with the averaging, we like multiply it by 20 to like get more whole numbers or something. I didn't set up that part for the numerical part, but
Sure you didn't.
it's like obsessing over like whether you got like an 82 or a 93 on the tests on the judging is, like Lucas said, it's a lot less useful than having written
Yeah.
feedback from builders in the space who can say, oh, well, you had this mechanic and this works really well. It causes some issues over here. Maybe you can do something to improve that by doing this or whatever. Um, have a great weekend, Pickaxe Master. Thank you for hanging around. Um,
My
DAO is
friend.
still a thing, GWiz. It is. There's more push for it happening within the company, so um, it's still on the roadmap. Um, I don't have specific beans for that, um, but it's still a thing.
Yeah, I hear whispers of it, but I just don't hear anything concrete they're giving out to the public at this time.
Yeah. Um, there was a something about the scores, the feedback. So that's our agreement with the council's agreement with the sandbox to always do that for each game jam. So that's just like a normal part of the month for us to do that judging, and to write that feedback. The council plans on doing game jams internally, and the council's game jams would be exclusive to Wizzy item holders, like part of the what we want out of the Wizzyverse game jams is to make expanded Wizzy universe content. So there needs to be a Wizzy NPC in the game.
Maybe
Whether
Wizzy themed.
yeah, whether they're the protagonist, like they're the hero that you're playing as, or if they are, Gandalf guiding Frodo to destroy the ring, kind of character who like pops in and out to give quests. The idea is that the Wizzies are the protectors of the metaverse, and they are helping heroes find their quests. So that is what
Awesome.
the
I believe
Wizzy
the word you're
game
looking for is
jams would.
awesome.
But that's what the Wizzy game jams would be. So they might have specific themes and stuff like that, but overall, in order to enter those, those game jams are going to be posted in a space on the Wizzyverse Discord that is for Wizzy NPC holders. Um, Eventually, this is not something that the tech has been built for yet, but it's something that I've been talking to the Avatar team, the Sandbox Avatar team, is that I would like for us to make available to Avatar holders to use their avatars as NPCs in the game maker. So that's not currently something that works yet. But I think it would be super cool if Snoop Doggy holders or Paris holders or Voxedeus holders or whatever, you can do it with Voxedeus because they made that NPC collection.
Mm-hmm.
But for all the other projects, Rabbids, Care Bears, it would be cool to have your unique avatar as a placeable NPC in a game. And it would give more utility to having multiple avatars.
Yeah.
Because I've got literally dozens of avatars, because I've got like 30 Voxedays. And it would be, yeah, Playboy avatars, all of them. Even the bridged ones, it would be cool. Like if we could, you could put your Cyberkongs or your Bored Ape or whatever, and put it in your game. I think that should be like up to the collection creator if they enable that as part of their bridge feature. But I think the resources exist because the files that are used for the avatars are the same as the files that are used for the NPCs. But it's a matter of the development to like activate that bridge to also work in your library and how that would affect publishing and stuff. So there are complexities to it, but I've talked to the Avatar team about it before, and they're like, "That sounds like a good idea." So we want to do stuff like that.
Wonderful idea.
So yeah. What was but the reason I was bringing that up is because for the Wizzyverse game jams, we would like people to. So it would start with the NPC holders. That gives some utility to people still holding their NPCs to use those characters. But we would also like that to be unlocked for the avatar holders. So if the avatar holders, if we can get that avatar to NPC bridge link working, then all the avatar holders would also be able to participate in those game jams that way. So for now, it would just be the NPCs, because that's how we would be setting up the game jams. Ballpark mint cost for Wizzies. So it's a 500 sand during the 24-hour pre-sale, which is for holders of Wizzyverse items. If you go to the Discord, there's a spreadsheet that lists out how many pre-mints you get during that 24-hour period. 500 sand for the pre-mint, 600 sand for after the 24-hour period for people who don't participate in the pre-sale. And I know like a lot of people might think that sounds high at first, but you're not just getting an avatar out of that. A week after reveal, we are giving everybody who has an avatar a full 6-piece set of armor. And those are going to be of similar like rarity to like the hats and stuff that we've been giving away on stream. So based on rough estimations, most of the equipment that we give away on stream usually goes for about 150 sand a piece, selling on secondary, and we're giving everybody a full 6-piece set of equipment that is designed to go with whatever Wizzy you hold.
Okay.
Yeah. So they're not going to be one of one uniques like the avatars are. All the avatars are unique from each other, just like Bored Apes and things like that. But the armor would be like probably like a 200 piece rarity, like in the rare to epic range. And I'm going to be making a lot of them. So yeah,
Nice.
and that's just one piece of utility on it. That so in total that's 900 sand worth of equipment that you get from your 500 to 600 sand avatar purchase, estimated based on current market value. You also get early access and like beta access and stuff to the experiences we're working on. We're going to be working on 9 of them for the Wizzyverse specifically. You'll get to participate in events. We're planning on doing like physical merch and events around the world, stuff like that. So there's a lot. Go read the white paper. It's all laid out there. There's a ton of stuff. What will determine who gets which armor pieces? So there's 12 different colors of wizard robes, and each equipment is based on like which color robe you get. The robe colors are going to be fairly evenly distributed. It might not be exact same percentages for all of them. There's a lot of other traits that will affect the rarity of specific wizards, but the robe colors are going to be mostly evenly divided between the 12 different colors. And then the equipment is going to be based on those 12 colors.
Okay. So you're going to get a matching set?
Yeah, to go with whatever whatever the wizard is. No, it's not 10,000 of each equipment. It's 10,000 divided by 12. So there's going to be 12 times 6, right?
10,000 divided by 12 is 833.33 into infinity.
So yeah, so we got 12 wizards times 6 pieces of equipment, or 12 colors times 6 pieces of equipment. So there's 72 different pieces of equipment, and like Lucas said, 10,000 divided by 12 is 833 pieces. So yeah, that's what we're going to be trying to make.
That's nice. You got your work cut out for you, brah.
If the Wiz Prismatic set holder rewards include a trip to Tokyo, would not be unhappy. So I guess that's if you don't sell it. Because the buyback offer for the Prismatic Wizzy is
hefty.
Enough to buy your own trip to Tokyo. It's a lot.
Yeah.
Was it $70,000? Was that what it was? I don't remember off the top of my head.
I remember it was either 50K or over. So it's 70 drops into that batch.
Yeah. So it's that's the other utility, is that there's 16 wizards in there. 15 of them will each get a sand. It's a specific sand amount, and right now it's about $5,000. And then the prismatic one, which is the ultimate one, is the one that is whatever sand right now equates to about $70,000. I think
there can be only one.
Again, it's all on the white paper. Go read the white paper. Go to discord.gg/Wizzyverse. WIZZY.
I'll drop it again.
ERSE.
Bam.
So there's a whole channel dedicated to white paper discussion. So any questions you have about the white paper can go in there. There's a bunch of people in there who have read it a bunch of times, and we'll probably be announcing our ambassadors tonight. I've basically already selected them, but I didn't want to just give them the role and be like, "Hey, you're ambassadors now," and then walk away. I've had a lot to do this week, so I want to like actually get a chance to like talk to them. So the selections are made. I just am waiting to set the role to when I can actually like have an AMA with them.
It's fair. That is fair.
Oh, getting a full set of Sandbox Wizzies, thought that was called Prismatic. No. Prismatic is one specific Wizzy that is like very shiny. There are the ambassador form will be opening up again later. It's just I've already got like a bunch to start with, and I'm trying to not like overwhelm myself more than I already am with everything. There's a lot going on. All right, let's try to finish this mechanic here. No. So we're trying to make something that crouches when you enter the box. I don't think it'll be based on your head, but it might be. It might detect you only in this. We're going to say always on top, true. Look target, false. Detect entity. It's just going to say hello when we uncrouch. And, maybe it'll kill us. Let's see. We're going to go to controller, component. Instant death message is kill. So this is going to send message, kill to all. Broadcast once. Okay. Okay, that did kill us. That also killed us. Is it still sensing us? Hmm. I feel like we were beneath that. So we need to be beneath that window. We can make this part smaller though. We need to be beneath the what are these things called? I forgot. I used to know a lot about castle anatomy and I can't remember.
Portcullis?
Well, that's the gate thing that comes down. I mean, like the
I think you're talking about the gate thing right there.
No, the gaps between turrets? The turrets. They might be called turrets. I don't know. Parapets.
I know the turrets, like the big round thing that you sit in. You're talking about like the little arrow gaps for. Yeah, I don't know what they're called either.
Okay, so our hat kind of goes too high, but let's. It's still sensing us, even though we're not in that space. I'm wondering if the visual representation of that is inaccurate. So let's try edit logic. We're just going to go with 0.
The outer Bailey, maybe?
Maybe. I'm like whatever the gap between the raised parts is called. It's still seeing us, which is
earlier in the chat, not Jackie Chan said that if you crouch, it doesn't actually change your hitbox.
Oh, that would be why.
Crouching does not make your detection hitbox lower. You can't crawl under a detector. At least I can't anyways, is what they had said.
Which is funny because this feels like it should be high enough, but like it's clearly over this guy's head.
Okay, so you're thinking of the battlements. Battlements were the series of raised sections with gaps between them running along the top of a castle wall.
Okay.
I looked it up.
What's the question? Zollner? All right, so yeah, I guess we can't crouch down. So unfortunately crouching doesn't seem to do much. Now, we could there could be an update that would fix the collision issues, or there could be an update that lets you sense whether crouch has been pressed or not. But oh well. It was worth a shot. I wanted it to work so badly. Because there is a way you could give it game over. right? You could do let's see.
Mr. Pizza Man says we need a Limbo animation. I could not agree more.
I mean, you can make it.
Desperately needed.
You can make it like you could make the crouch a Limbo. If you go and unlock the human template by importing them into a new so okay, you want to make your player character in VoxEdit using the medium human template. Then you need to um uh create a new rig file with nothing in it and import what you just created, and that will give you full control over the avatar. You can edit all the animations, and you can go to the crouch one. Remember exactly how it's probably called crouch underscore 01 or something like that. Whatever that animation is called. Delete it, but remember the name. Take like your walking animation, duplicate it, make it the name of the crouch, and then just bend the waist back like 90 degrees. And then save. Replace the rig file so the lock is back on it, and then import. Well, you don't even need to do that part. And then you've got your animated character, but you changed his crouch animation to being a Limbo. That could work. So yeah, you can do defeat based on collision. So it looks like my hat would go through this, but if I crawl, okay, that works. Oh, my hat's going through it. Okay, it seems that my height is capped. Oh, yep. So I hit jump. So yeah, the avatars have a standard height. So you'll notice that that this is just right at the top of that guy's head. That's about how tall the avatars usually are. So I don't trigger that defeat unless I jump up a little bit. But I have a feeling that if I drop this down, it's still going to trigger it even if I'm crawling. Based on... Oh? What? It seems that crawling does change your collision.
Oh. Not Jackie Chan lied to you. You know, I knew it had to happen eventually. He was just too good to be true.
See, if I just run right into it, I get a defeat. But crouching, I do actually pass under it without being defeated. So, like, having a defeat on crouch is no fun, though. Like, crawling changes collision, not detection. Oh. There's a difference. So, yeah, but you can't like end the game just because somebody sees you. Like, that's too aggressive, right? Nobody wants to have their game over because the guard caught them, and then you start over from Kokiri Forest. That would be terrible. I've been playing that game for like an hour and a half, and then bam,
biggity bam, you're done. No, thank you.
So you can. Somebody mentioned collectible. I saw in the chat somebody mentioned collectible, and collectible can be on collision also. The thing is, you'd have to like respawn the collectible every time, and it would show up on the screen that they've collected something. So you could make it. Wait, can you do a plant with collision? I don't think so. I think it has to be a message. What am I? Yeah. I suppose you could. I'm trying to think of how else you could do something on collision. There's not a lot of options there. You could have an. This is getting really complicated. I think you could maybe have the player stand up and it would push a platform. So, like, if you put it like this, collision plus gravity, play. Okay, so that moved it. So if we make it a little bit higher, can we stand up underneath it? Is the question. Okay, so that height's not gonna work with the blocks, but let's try getting like a half block. Is there a half block? We could also just place an object. Let's do some tiles. Or there's little crates. Let's do the little crates. I think those would be the right size. Maybe they're called a box.
Did the climb? Mr. Pizza Man asks or says, "I don't see climbable in the menu options anymore. Did it get moved? Is that a feature that got moved around?"
It's only in synchronized, so
Gotcha.
you can use it in single player just fine. It actually probably, if I click on this, yeah, it got changed to multiplayer climbable. So when I placed this and I set it as climbable, it was in 0.7. So multiplayer climbable was not even a thing then. The multiplayer distinction wasn't even there. So it automatically changed this to multiplayer climbable with the update. Okay, now let's see what happens if I stand up. I can't. It keeps my head down. I was hoping I could stand up underneath it and kind of bop it with my head, but it doesn't work.
Pop it. Slap it. Twist it.
Do
you remember that game?
Yes.
Okay.
That's why I made that noise.
If you didn't, then I would just sound like I was
slappy.
Screaming random phrases with zero.
Then we would have thought it's a normal Saturday.
Aw, you sweet talker.
Multiplayer things still work in single player. So multiplayer and single player messages can't send back and forth to each other, but multiplayer functions still operate in single player. So you can do crowd events in single player if you wanted. You can do all the multiplayer things in single player. You just can't directly send a message from multiplayer behaviors to single player behaviors and vice versa.
Okay.
So, like for example, this ladder is multiplayer, but it still works, even though I'm in single player right now. So yeah, you could have this be collectible. I guess what you could do, if you wanted it to be, you can make an asset called a trespassing ticket. And it would be giant but invisible. So we would put this here about. And we can get rid of those, I think. We're going to turn on, we're going to say no collisions, because we want the player to still move freely. And we're going to make this collectible. Collectible on collision. And we're going to call this we're going to change the display name. And we're going to call it trespassing ticket. I don't know if I spelled trespassing correctly. I've never had to write it before. Collect sound. Is there like an alert sound still? Event objective loss, maybe? And collect message is going to be kill. So it's going to teleport us back to the respawner. And it's going to go to all. And we're also going to... Well, we'll just see if this works for now. Oh, I forgot to make it invisible. And we're going to hide it. So now... crouch. And if we stand up... Okay, it killed us.
Oh no.
So it sent us back and gave us a trespassing ticket. So if you, in VoxEdit, make a large square item, make it look like some sort of like notice or piece of paper, and have that be the asset. So now when I look at my inventory, I'll have a trespassing ticket. And what I could also do... Wait, did I drop it or did I accidentally... Can you drop quest items now?
Maybe?
Is it gonna crash? What's it doing? It's freaking out. I thought I just saw... Maybe it was my mouse trying to put down the asset. But to me, it looked like I dropped it in-game. You used to not be able to drop quest items. That would be a new feature. It's stuck. One BOXT. Oh, you're talking to Lucas about it. Okay. I was like, you've talked to me on Slack before. What are you talking about? You're crazy. So we need that kill message to be faster. Okay, so did I drop that? You can drop quest items now. That's what? New. You used to not be able to do that. When did that get added? It lost its behavior properties, so I can't pick it back up. Okay, that's a game changer. Okay, maybe. I gotta put... Let's put a tag on this. Ticket. And we're going to put... I'm just slapping random assets down. We're going to put a box over here. And it's going to be a speaker. And it's going to look for the ticket. Specific tags in range. Yes, specific tags in range. Why am I... Oh, include tags. I'm looking at the wrong thing. Wait. I'm so confused. What am I looking at here?
I have no idea.
Detect. Wait for message. Detect entity. Edit logic. Detection type. Everyone in range? That's not correct. Specific tags in range. Okay, I guess it is up there. I feel like this is laid out differently than it used to be, so I got confused when that was up there, but maybe I'm just not remembering it right. Alright, ticket. So now this should say hello when it sees the ticket. Will it see the ticket? I die. Ta-da. Okay, now I'm going to drop the ticket. It says hello. Ah, yes. Okay. Woo! We can drop quest items now and trigger things to happen. Wow. I've been waiting for this for more than 2 years.
I'm about to say I can count on 3 hands the number of times I've heard you mention this over the years.
Was this documented? Did anybody notice this, or did I just accidentally find a feature? I just accidentally the whole Game Maker. That's the throwback.
What if everybody's like, oh yeah, we've known about this for years, and you're like, oh man.
I accidentally the whole thing. I didn't see this. I don't remember seeing this on a changelog. I remember seeing people talking about wanting to do this, and I was expecting it in the future. Was it part of the 0.8.3 update?
Now,
I
Alex.
feel like if
the future is now.
I read the changelog for 0.8.3 on stream.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like I would have noticed that then. I feel like it. There were only really 2 feature changes for 0.8.3. Watch it be there now.
I was gonna say go back to the changelog and just search for quest.
Okay, so there was the broadcast messages immediately before pickup and after dropping the actor, meaning an item. But that's referring to pickable. Like,
yeah. It says pickable improvements.
8.3 was on 8.2 but didn't work. The detector when you drop is 8.3. I'm not talking about the detector when I drop. I'm talking about being able to drop a quest item. Um, 0.8.2. Pickable improvements. Wait, sorry, that's 0.8.3. 0.8.2 0.8.22. That's a typo. Unless, what? Who did that? That's not how we write our version numbers. 0.8.2.2. But there's no point. I know, because on 0.7 we're on 0.7.22 now. After 21, after 20, after 19. All right. I don't even remember these versions coming out. 0.8.2 changelog, volume shape for speaker component, pickable support, multiplayer simulator, instance locker. 0.8.1, bug fixing. 0.8.0.
While Alex is doing that, we're closing out the form here soon. So if you want to enter, please do it now.
It's not freaking there. I'm saying the naughty words. Look what you made me do. It's not flipping there.
$1 in the swear jar, Alex. $1 in the swear jar.
So the weird thing is, like, you can't do anything with it after that. When you've picked it up and then you put it down and then it's done. But what we could do, probably, I think, is if we make this a void for that object, we could deposit them or something. Pickable improvements: larger nostrils, longer fingers. No.
Solid feedback. Adding to that.
I was like, I'm reading it like, what? And then I remembered I have small children. All right, so we can void. One box tea. Did you know about this? Because I didn't know about this, and I know you know some stuff about the Game Maker.
Some stuff.
You have like an inside track here. What am I reading? Gee whiz, we also have comments on YouTube. You can see them on the screen if you look above my head. I'm going to move that over because we are in the Game Maker. It makes it easier to see. Maybe, LOL. I feel like nobody knew about this.
Not buying it. I need conviction behind the answer, or it's just nope. Not gonna buy it.
All right. Void is going to only destroy from list. No blocks. Don't destroy blocks. Only destroy from list on. What was this thing called? This is a pink roof tile. Okay. And I think voids count as death, right? So if we have this thing die, we can add a health component to this thing. Health, edit logic. Let's see. We want. Ooh, blocks heal. Wait. Damage blocks changed. I feel this wasn't documented either. Why are we finding? I haven't had a lot of time to play around in 0.8, and I feel I thought that reading the changelog would give me all the info that I needed to convey to you the cool new features. However, in 0.7 and 0.6 and 0.5 and 0.4 and 0.3 and 0.2 and 0.1 and 0.07,
all the numbers.
I spent a lot of time in those game makers learning all these features organically and finding little tidbits like this, and I'm pretty sure there weren't healing blocks and damaging blocks. I mean, there were there were damaging blocks, but I don't remember there being healing blocks before. For anything. Is this in the players? Also? Controller, component. This is here also. Was this here before? Healing blocks is 0.8 thing. I just looked at the change logs and I didn't see that there. What else are they hiding? And by them, I mean my coworkers.
They're just sitting back thinking to themselves,
One
what
box
can we
tea.
do today
One
to
box
make
tea.
Alex think he's lost his mind?
Doesn't take much. One box tea. One box tea says that healing blocks have been there for a while. By a while, do you mean 0.8? They were also there in 0.7.
So I call shenanigans on that.
I mean, maybe they were. I don't know.
I know. I just feel like calling shenanigans on it.
Okay. I mean, I'd believe it. I feel like I was still learning things in 0.7 all the way up to when 0.8 came out. All right. Existential crisis aside. Message on death. We'll say victory. And we'll put a little victory component on this thing. On receive message of victory. Okay. This should work. We're gonna get our trespassing ticket. And now we are going to put it down. Oop, I pressed the wrong button. Quest. Drop. Why am I way over here? Look, Wizzy the Black is way in the corner. What the heck? Oh, maybe because of the fixed camera? I wonder if that does it. Wait, I'm able to pick it up now? What? Okay, so apparently I can pick it back up. I just didn't realize it. Okay, the void is not working on it, though. Did I set it up correctly, right? Void on start. Don't destroy, only destroy from list. Pink roof tile. It should work. Well, so the void doesn't seem to work. However, we could say destroy all except from list. I think that still kills the player, though. Yeah, that kills me, too. I just want to live. Okay. So, we're not going to use the void. However, we could add a component for the speaker. It's going to say hello when it detects entity. That entity is going to be ticket. And it's going to send a message of victory. Or it could send the kill message. Kill, right? Just to the ticket, though. It's going to send ticket to... Sorry, loud truck going by there. Specific tags in range. Ooh. Okay. And broadcast tags goes to ticket. Okay. Grab that. Yeah, it sends us back here. And we're going to hit the wrong button again for the inventory. And we're going to do that. And we're going to drop. It said hello. It, however,
Oh, hello.
did not give us the victory message. Maybe because it's trying to send it back to itself. Oh. I placed it on myself, basically.
It happens.
All right. Why is that not triggering the victory? Speaker.
While you're doing
sees-
that,
Yep.
we have the winner of today's giveaway.
Who's looking at
Can I
people's
announce
nose
it?
hairs? Yeah, go ahead.
Congratulations goes out to, and I love this username, the Yolks on You over on Twitch TV. You have won Wizzy's enhanced purple hat. Please, friend, wear it with pride.
If Lucas had said that name wrong, I guess some egg would be on his face.
I'd have egg on my face. I would.
All right. So we've got. We know that the detection works because it says hello like it's supposed to. It detects the ticket. And then it broadcasts kill to ticket. But it's not actually killing it. Maybe because we're dropping it. It's not having that health component on. Oh, because we turned off the instant death message. That's why. Doi. Okay. I keep doing that. I keep on hitting O instead of I. My hand is like, I don't know if I moved my keyboard or what. My hand keeps on reaching to the wrong side. Okay, we're gonna drop it. Okay, it did indeed kill that, but it didn't send the victory message back. Unless I didn't set it up right, which is possible. Message sent on death, victory, send to tags. Oh, maybe it has to do that. Box. And we're going to give this one a tag of box. Hey, it worked. Okay. So,
Awesome.
All right. So this was all for the question of can we set up a crouch system? Yes, we can, and we can make it have. I like it when mechanics make sense, right? We're not just making a game mechanic and doing the danger of us. This is my ADHD kicking in. I'm like my conversation's going in multiple directions at the same time, but the danger of playing in the sandbox so often is that we as players and builders get too familiar with what works and what doesn't work, and we're too close to the system to see the way a brand new player might see it, the way somebody who's never played a sandbox game before, because we're going to have the new publishing system, and you can give people a direct link to your game with that. So that's supposed to be coming out later this year. It's not just that it's coming out later this year, like, you know, we've said that before, but it's actually coming out later this year because it is right now functioning. It's just not made publicly available because it's going through some testing phases and stuff like that. But I've seen the feature working. It's already on the dashboard. Just only staff can see it at the moment. So, publishing on land, people have direct links to your game. They may play your game before any other game in the sandbox. And if you spend too much time in the sandbox and messing around with the mechanics, you might come up with a really cool idea that blows us away in a game jam, or we're like, that's so neat how you did that. But for a brand new player, they see it and they're seeing like items pop up in your inventory and they're like, what the heck is this? And so I really like it when people find ways, and I try to always find ways to make the mechanics make sense in world. So we're not just picking up items that are collision boxes. Like, that's a good thing to do if you can get it working right. But you don't want it to be distracting from your game and from the story you're trying to tell. You want the mechanics to just feel natural, like they're the way you're supposed to play the game. So having you pick up an item as part of the collision and now I gotta rebuild it.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Well, that's a good spot to stop today.
So I may have saved it fairly
hopefully.
recently. I don't think I did though. We'll see. We'll see how far back I have to go, but I can just explain what I did, and you can go back and rewatch the VOD. Oh yeah, no, we didn't save recently. I can tell by the thumbnail. So what I'm trying to get to is like, yes, you can. Your collision does change when you crouch and crawl, so you can have an object with collection that will be collected when you touch it. So if you want to say, hey, player, you need to be crouching in this area. So you want to introduce the player to, hey, the guards can see out in this space. Maybe you even use like the spotlight lighting effects or something. But, ooh, can we turn a spotlight with the speaker component to face the player? I guess it wouldn't adjust the angle, but just the direction. But still, that could be cool.
Really cool.
Losing 1 hour of work. This doesn't count as 1 hour of work. This counts as 1 hour of experimenting for about 5 minutes of actual work to set up the mechanic. Will there ever be an autosave? Eventually, probably. But you can also hit Control-Shift-S to save. If you just get in the habit of doing that, that's good. The thing, I don't really like auto-saving in a game environment because a lot of times I'm doing weird things and I don't want it to save and then me not to be able to go back to where I was. Because sometimes I'm doing really bizarre experiments, and if it's saved and was like, this is the way your game is now, I'd be like, oh no, I had just deleted a whole bunch of stuff. Autosave can be dangerous if you don't have enough undos in that system. So yeah, exactly. Turn it off in 3D, especially with a lot of details. Yeah, oftentimes in 2D in Photoshop, like I'm working like in layers and it's non-destructive, so like it can autosave the whole time. Doesn't make a difference. But in 3D, it tends to be more detrimental.
I can see that.
So anyway. So if you are making a crouched area, you want to introduce the player to it in a way that makes sense. You could have them come out of like a low cave or like a pipe or something like that, where it's forcing them to crouch to get to that spot. And then have like an NPC warn them, or like the player's internal dialogue go like, oh, I shouldn't stand up around here. The guards might see me, or something like that. Or you could even have a laser field that's visible. There's all sorts of ways that
field idea.
There's lots of ways you can convey that this area you should stay crouched or crawling. And then you use collision on either invisible or visible objects, depending on what makes sense. Like if it's lasers, then you might want a visible laser beam asset. And so then you stand up and you collect it. If it's invisible, then I would recommend something like, if it's invisible, you can make the asset anything. It can be any object as long as it covers the space nicely. And of course, you could put multiple of them up. It doesn't have to be one specific plane. Any of these assets can do the same thing. You just duplicate it across the area you need to stay crouched in. And the object should be something that respawns. So when you pick it up, you want a message to send to like replace that asset back where it was. So that way the player can be caught in that same spot again. And have the fact that they got caught do something. So either you have guards start chasing. If they start chasing, you're gonna want to delete, like void all the other sensors for the player to stand in. Otherwise, as they run away from the enemies chasing them, they're going to be running through a bunch of objects going collect, 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 collect. So you're going to like want to void that whole area of collection assets, which would also, the collection assets, if you had, no, if you didn't have collision on them, then the NPCs would run through it just fine. What else? But yeah, making the object something that the player holds in their inventory that like makes sense, like holding a laser beam in their pocket it's not really a quest item, right? It doesn't really make sense being there. So like you can do a game that way. I wouldn't be overly critical of doing that way. You're doing the best with the tools available to you. But for a new player, they're going to open their inventory and see, I'm holding a laser? What does that mean? So having something like a big flat plane, so you only have to put a few of them, and having it be a trespassing notice or something like that. Or it could even be like some sort of achievement, right? Like, ooh, you got caught. Or like most wanted poster. Something like that. It could be some sort of item that the player holds on to be like, yeah, you got caught a whole bunch of times. You could even do a quest. I mean, it would make more sense if you could hide it. So, you know, because you can't hide it, it kind of would be weird. But because you could collect multiple of that item, it would be funny. Like, oh, you got caught 100 times. Achievement unlocked. You could actually do that, just not, it wouldn't matter like what you're holding in your inventory. You could still drop them. You could have some sort of object move a little bit every single time you collect one of them, and then eventually it would like set off an achievement or something, which would be kind of funny.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, have a message like to some mechanism hidden underground activate because of
once you hit that certain specific item that's chronologically down the road. It's not the first one you collect, but it's the 100th one you collect.
Right. Yeah. You could have like a falling object, like if you put a whole bunch of layers in it, and have a column, and so each time you collect one of these things, it like removes a layer and lets an object keep falling down until it finally reaches the bottom and triggers a quest to activate that says you've been caught 100 times or whatever. Yeah, there's lots of different ways to do those sorts of things. But yeah, so the being able to drop it is interesting though. That was the weird discovery today. Weird good discovery. So we can do so much more with quest items now. Like I said, I heard people talking about this in staff, like about this coming up, and I was like, yes. And
is here.
But then they didn't tell me that it was there. So now you can collect a item and bring it to a player or to an NPC and drop it for them, and then they will receive that item. So you can turn in quests now, quest items, which is pretty neat. Cool. It's hella cool.
All right, a lot of possibilities.
Anyway, I think that's enough brain melting for today. Thank you for hanging out, Lucas. Thank you for learning along with me.
Thank you for having me.
We will see you all on Wednesday. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Bye, everyone.